In the United States, Scientology is recognized as a tax-exemptable religion. In many other countries, it is considered a sect or a cult. And even a few other countries, it's just considered a for-profit business. In order to fully understand Scientology, I think all three of these things have to be true. So back in the 1950s, a guy named L. Ron Hubbard started Scientology, but first he wrote a book about mental health. It was called Dianetics, the Modern Science of Mental Health. He made a bunch of claims, claiming he could cure pretty much any disease, any type of, insanity. And he said that this worked 100% of the time. Then, when he presented his findings to the American Medical Association and psychiatric associations, he was basically laughed out of town. This caused him to pivot. And he turned the body of work into a religion by saying that all these illnesses and problems he was curing were actually not coming from the mind at all. They were coming from the spirit. From there, he started to do a ton of research, and as he got older and things got more complicated, he became increasingly more paranoid. So while his research, he was trying to come up with ways to fix the spirit, basically, and these are practices that you pay for. So it's not like meditation that's free or anything like that. You have to go in and you have to pay for different services, which are types of counseling, and they have a set fee, and they rack up pretty quickly. And there is always a carrot. There's always a next step. So you end up spending a lot of money, and that's just the way it goes. The highest levels of Scientology are confidential. There's a lot of legal paperwork and a lot of hoops to jump through to get up to those levels. Because L. Ron Hubbard was actually wanted in several countries, he took to sea in the 60s. He got a fleet of ships, and the most hardcore devoted followers went on those ships with him. He started what was called the Sea Org. Now this, as a sort of clergy of Scientology, still exists to this day. If you've ever heard of someone having to sign a billion-year contract, that's for joining the Sea Org, which is like the clergy. All of this is to say that Scientology is basically everything that L. Ron Hubbard decided was true. Everything he says, he's considered source. So everything he says trumps anybody else's information. Doctors, lawyers, experts in any field, no. He trumps them. Because of this unbridled, cult-like following, over the past 70 years, which is about how long my family generationally has been involved with it, things became tighter. He got more and more paranoid, more and more penalties. There are interrogations in Scientology, and it's all kind of done in the name of spirituality. Just like a Catholic confession would be to unburden a person, that's what they say about confessions in Scientology. The difference is Catholics don't put you on a lie detector. Scientology does have an e-meter, which is considered to be a religious artifact, but it's basically just tests the reaction of your skin. So when you're asked a question and your skin reacts, they think that there's some sort of spiritual energy there. And so much of what you're paying for in these counseling sessions is to be sitting on this meter and looking at what reads and trying to delve into past lives, going back sometimes trillions of years before humans even existed. Because Scientology believes in reincarnation and an eternity before us, that opens the door to, a lot of places that are not Earth, a lot of people that aren't human. So there's aliens, there's a lot going on, a lot to it. But as sort of a body of work or a philosophical chunk of knowledge, that's what Scientology is. Sadly, L. Ron Hubbard was a bit of a madman, and the current leader is a bit of a madman. So because it's a cult, it's a very closed group, you can't ask questions, and L. Ron Hubbard's always the source, they are just mired in abuse and cover-ups, and it really went downhill. I think it started downhill because, like I said, madman, but 70 years of it is just, it's been a shit show. I hope this answers your question, and if not, let me know. I'm happy to answer more. It's a hard thing to explain, but I'm doing my best.